I was raised a Christian, but then I obviously like drifted and went on a completely different path, and I was completely lost. Like I would look in the mirror and not recognize myself. And I felt like I had a void that I was trying to fill with so many other things. I was looking for something, but I didn't know what. I feel like I was looking for love my whole life, and I always had the fantasy of like, you know, meet the love of my life and fall in love. So I was like real quick to fall in love. Well, if you can call it that. I made that my whole world. So I treated whatever relationship I was in, I treated that as like my religion, my God. So I got comfortable with being controlled and like manipulated. And then in order to make myself feel better that I was letting this stuff happen to me, that's when the drugs came in and everything. Which is just, you know, it's easy to stay in a situation when you're just numbing yourself the whole time and you're not allowing yourself to be self-aware and realize like, oh, I actually don't want this. It was hard. The life I was living sucked. It was really hard, actually, because I was lost and sad and I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know who I was or anything. And it was actually really difficult to live that lifestyle, but somehow it felt more difficult, like to try and change it, to face that what I was living didn't have to be, and that it could be better. And I went from relationship to relationship, and as it went on, I just got worse, and I got more addicted to alcohol, drugs, men, everything. I would be in a relationship, and I'd feel so trapped that I would eventually break up with them and then just go do whatever I wanted because I was like, I'm free now, feeling like that was freedom. I went in and out of, I can't do this, actually it's okay, for ages. I don't even know how long. I don't even know when I started feeling that way. I remember I used to like hear God being like, Jules, what are you doing? And I'd be like, no, it's fine. I've got it under control. I'm just gonna like, give me a week or something. Like I can do this. Yeah, that never happened because I couldn't do it by myself and I needed God. You know, the realization set in that this was an obsession. And I also realized that the person that I am when I'm using substances is not me. Like I used to think I am my most real self when I'm high or drunk. But then after actually starting to try get sober, I realized that the person I am when I'm using or drunk, it takes me further away from God. And then of course that's when you wake up feeling disgusted with yourself the next day and you feel shame and guilt. So my brain was starting to get rewired in the sense that I was like, okay, all of my old beliefs are starting to change. And I was like, I actually want to get closer to God. And this is taking me away from him. It's distancing me again. And if I keep doing that, I'm going to get lost again. I'm going to be stuck again. Not going to know who I am again, because I can't know who I am without God. I was living with my brother, and for ages he was telling me that maybe I should go live with our parents because he could see that I was not okay and he knew that I needed help and he didn't know how to help me. We would just fight. Like thinking about it now, I never knew how much it affected him. I was so against moving because then I couldn't get away with anything. Then I'm like, I don't want to go live with mommy because then I can't do the things that I want to do. I was in such a dark place and I was realizing that something had to change. I also hadn't gone to church in years. I was going kind of strong and then relapsed after like 3 weeks. I went out with my friends drinking and my one friend and I took it too far. Ended up being on a bender for 2 days. Just like, why? Because why? And I think that's probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me because like a lot of the times we say like you have to have a rock bottom to actually change. And I didn't think I needed another rock bottom because I had so many rock bottoms and none of them made me change. And I don't know how none of them made me change. And then I had this massive panic attack. And I went to my brother and I was shaking and crying in his arms. No, I was screaming. I was shaking and screaming in his arms. And I just kept saying, I don't know why I keep doing this. Why do I keep doing this? How do I stop? How do I make this stop? I don't know what to do. I came home, which I didn't want to because I didn't want my mom to know. And then I went straight to an AA meeting the Monday after. If I had been alone, if I hadn't come to God, none of that would have happened. You can come to God and feel like, okay, I'm a Christian now. I believe in God. So like everything's going to be rainbows and daisies from here on out, and everything's going to be perfect and my life is completely going to change. It doesn't. But coming to God is the first step. You don't have to be perfect to come to God. Come as you are. Because I felt like I couldn't come to God because I was so imperfect. I was a sinner and I was doing everything wrong. And God wasn't going to accept me. How could he accept me? I'm like the complete opposite of what he wants. Slowly but surely, he started bringing me back. Like, he never stopped chasing after me. Like, even I had lost hope in myself. I thought I was too far gone. I didn't think I was ever going to be better. I literally, I was chasing after love the whole time. I got to the point where I accepted that, like, I'll probably never get married. So you don't have to be perfect to come to God. I lost hope in myself. And I think probably a lot of other people lost hope in me as well. And it's just completely crazy to think that even like that, God never lost hope in me. God never lost hope, and he never stopped coming after me. He kept chasing me, and I kept saying no, and I kept running away. Over time, it became easier and easier to talk to him. And like, if I think about it now, that's when everything started changing in here. I got like more self-aware, and I allowed myself to notice things more. Like, okay, I don't actually like that. Like maybe I shouldn't push this person away because they're trying to help. Maybe I should push this person away because they're not helping. So I think over time, as slowly as I came to God, my mind also slowly started changing. The only way of really getting better is by going to him when you're not better, when you're not good. But the only way to get good enough is by going to him. And he never too far away. He's always right there waiting for you to come back to him. Oh, it's so beautiful to think of. I came to a church for the first time in, I don't know how long, a while. The first few weeks, I couldn't go to church without crying. And then this woman, who I'd never met before in my life, I didn't know anybody who went to this church. This woman just came up to me randomly, and she asked if she could pray for me. I was like, please pray for me. And I don't remember what she said, but I just remember everything she said was exactly what was going on in my life, and everything I needed to hear. And then at the end, she told me that I have a void that I've been trying to fill, but I've been going, and this is the first time this thought ever came to my mind, and I've been trying to fill it with all of the wrong things. And she said that Jesus wants me to know that he wants to fill that void. And I just cried so hard. I was like, how could you possibly know that? I did. I had a void, and I was trying to fill it with all of these other things that only made it bigger, if anything. And the only one who can actually fill that void is God, and the love of Christ.